Hi, this is Mike. I wanted to share some work that I'm doing with the Fellow Stagg X. Now, the Fellow Stagg X is a really nice dripper. It's dual walled, and it's got a fair amount of holes at the bottom that promote a lot of the even drainage. And one of the things that Jonathan at Coffee at Astra had been doing was making the dripper no bypass. This is to kind of bump up extraction while keeping drawdown times relatively low. And I read through that article and was really intrigued and wanted to try to improve on the process. I think he found that while it's easy enough to take a filter and press down the pleats inside it while wet, it was something that was manual and it's hard to make repeatable. And then secondly, he was using a dispersion screen at the bottom to keep the filter from touching the bottom of the stag dripper and potentially clogging because of all that contact. And I thought I could address both of those with a tool. So here's the prototype of I'm calling it the filter smoosher because that's what it does. And you can see that it is very well shaped to the contours of the Fellow Stagg X. And you can see that, firstly, the inside is hollow. And then secondly, we have holes where the intention here is you pour water in the top and the water comes down these channels and wets the filter. This does a few things. So firstly, the tool itself will remove any pleats. It'll form a filter to the contours of the Stag X, and the water will it'll stick the filter to the dripper. And the nice part is the height of the tool is about a centimeter less than the height of the dripper, so the bottom doesn't touch. And when you form the filter to the tool and to the Stag X, the filter is about a centimeter off the bottom, and it stays there because of the surface tension of the water sticking the filter to the to the Stag X. And also there's a little bit of back pressure at the bottom that prevents the filter from collapsing into the tool. So I think another nice thing about this tool is it gives you access to other filters. So you can see here, I have the Fellow Stagg filters. I have Kalita filters. Those should work too. I'll be testing those over the next couple of days. We have trapezoidal filters. Oh, those are actually cone filters. I do have trapezoidal filters. Those aren't those though. And then lastly, if you're in a pinch and you don't have any filters, go to the grocery and get any old, what is this, 8 to 12 cup filters will work just fine. In fact, I'll demonstrate right now the forming on this because this is essentially just a round piece of paper. So you can see here is our regular 8 to 12 cup coffee filter. And if you spread it out, it is a circle of paper. And that's it. So what I'll do is I'm going to fold it once in half. And then once in half again. Hard to do with one hand. And then what we can do is we can take the dripper, lay the paper on top with the center generally where the opening is, and then use the tool to press and give a slight twist, and we have our formed filter. So you can see it works fairly well with just a regular filter. And I'll try to carefully pull this out, but it forms the bottom and keeps it from the bottom of the dripper. So I'll do the same thing, but now with the Stagg filter because we're going to do a brew. Okay, I've gotten the Stagg filter situated onto the tool, and now I'm going to take it and place it in the Stagg X. And what I'll do now is I want to wet the filter, and this is just a prototype and it's not made of a heat stable plastic, but what you can figure that if this is kind of put into production, what we could do is make this out of heat stable plastic, and we could wet the filter, stick it to the side, and heat the dripper all at the same time. But I'll start with cold water. So I'll pour the water and into the tool, and it'll drain through the holes and wet the filter. I'll also get the top as well. Okay. Once the water is drained through, I'll give it a nice press just to kind of stick everything to the sides. And I could give it a little, if I leverage with another hand, I could give it a turn. In fact, I'll do that off camera and pull the filter off. Or sorry, the tool off. Okay, I gave it a little loosen with two hands, but now we can take the tool out and we can show you that the filter is fairly well stuck to the sides of the walls of the dripper. And then you can see here that the bottom of the filter is actually kind of floating on top of kind of a layer of water that's trapped under, but then it's about a centimeter off of the bottom of the dripper, and this helps this filter not clog. We're doing a no bypass, so there's a lot of opportunity for this filter to clog, and we're kind of maximizing the surface area at the bottom to allow dripping, and we're going to show that in the brew. Okay, I'm back and I've set up a brew. And you can see here, I've already pre-wet the filter. What I'm going to do is use a little more water to heat up the dripper. So, as I said before, ideally we'd be able to do this in the previous step while we seat the filter. But since I'm using kind of a prototype plastic and haven't annealed it, I couldn't do it. So this kind of also proves the point that even by pouring water in here, and through typical brewing, you can see that we still maintain the filter sitting on top of, floating on top of the bottom of the filter. So hopefully this won't clog. We'll see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to dump out this water, and we're going to start a brew. All right, so I'll use Jonathan's recipe of 15 grams to 250 that he kind of cites on his site. So, and this will be done with a bloom and then 4 pours. So I'm going to, one of the added benefits here, because we've crushed those pleats, I didn't really need a funnel there. And it kept it pretty much in the center of the dripper. So I'll make a little well. All right, let's tear, and we're going to start brewing. So we'll start with the bloom. It gives about 45 seconds to bloom, and then we'll put another dose of water. Drainage so far has been pretty good, but we'll see as we continue our pours if subsequent pours are more prone to clogging. We're on pour 2. Yeah, nice drainage. You could see even with the swirls, we're not stalling all that much. Yeah, it's draining fairly quickly actually. All right, pour number 2. Or this is 3, pardon. And our final pour to 250. Give it a final gentle swirl, seat the bed, and let it dry down. I'll pause this and give you a final draught out time at the end. Okay, we're coming up on final seconds. Took 3:45-ish to draw down completely. Not terrible. So I'll pull this off and finish up. So here's our final brew, and let's give it a taste. Really good mouthfeel. Not over extracted, not bitter, not astringent. That's a good brew. So I'll continue working on this tool, see if I want to refine this at all. I think the drainage is actually pretty good. I was worried that these channels would not be deep enough to promote drainage. Seems to be working all right. I want to see if maybe I could add maybe some slots or other holes at the top so that you don't have to pour around the edge as well. But we'll see. We'll see if that's necessary. And then secondly, the drawdown seems to be a little slower than without the, than if this were no bypass. We'll see if I'll speak with the other members of the Hoon's Coffee Cave Discord to see if that's their experience without, with a normal Stagg X brew, or if this is something that happens because of the no bypass and with no possibility for error to kind of get under it. So I'll keep everyone updated with progress here. Hopefully if this thing turns out well, maybe I'll release it on Thingiverse and make it public. But I'll sign off for now, and thanks for watching.